Alright there, guys. Must apologize for the shape that the bench is in. I have been very busy. I have, I guess you would say, I choose to call them friends, but they're customers slash friends that I'm doing. One of them has actually sent me, I think it's 7 locomotives. 3-4 of them get LEDs. The rest of them are getting custom paints. I've got a beaver tail Milwaukee Road car that I've custom painted, decaled, and actually it's going to have an interior. It's a brass car. It's going to have an interior and passengers along with seating. I've been working on that. I've been working on some WDLK. I don't know if he's announced them yet. I think he has. Surprise units. I'm just going to leave that there. There's 3 of those. And of course, these 2 GP10s. So that's where I'm just picking this up to continue on. We ordered, and I don't know if I went over this or not, but we decided we would order the parts that we need from Shapeways. The vents actually come out fairly nice. I'm pleased with the way they look, and they're going to look good on there. I was informed, and I don't have any reason to doubt the guy that told me, but I was informed that when they make these with those 3-dimensional printers, this is really like layers of plastic that's just, it's warm, and the printer works its way back and forth, and these are just layers, and if you scratch across it, you can feel that there's actually a rough edge this way. It's not really smooth, but that's what we're going to use. I was told that it would break down over time. I'm thinking that we might conceal it with something, maybe spray some clear coat on it before we paint it. I don't know. You know, if you actually look at it, you can see the lines. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can see the lines in it. Those are the breathers, though, that come from Shapeway, and the exhaust. Now, I was in the hopes that these exhausts were going to be, the same size as these, so I wouldn't have to remove them, but as my luck would have it, there is a distinct height difference. See if I can get you to see that there. Maybe the camera's zooming, I don't know, I can't see it. But anyway, I'm going to remove these. All I'm going to do, get my seeing spectacles on here. Of course, naturally, you know, this is just going to sit up here as so. These are going to be hot once they're done. That's going to sit up there like that. I'm going to have to make a decision as to whether just to glue the end to this piece. That's probably what I'm going to do, so he can actually still remove this to get to the decoder. Some guys like to do that, be able to have access just from the top hatch. So anyway, we're going to get down to business here. Oh, and I noticed something else I wanted to show you while I'm thinking about it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a small line here. You can actually see a shadow. On this side, it's just as bad, even with it being pushed down. You still got a little bit of a shadow in there. So I've been thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some material and actually take this apart. I think I'd mentioned this before also in a video. I'm just going to take some material and I'm going to drop this down about another 1/4 of an inch on both sides. Do the same, might as well go and do the same for this one too. Drop it down another 1/4 inch, sand it off smooth, just basically get it ready for paint. These cabs, I just glued them to the shell, and it's actually holding up pretty good. They've been cured, I would say, dried, cured for quite some time, so I know it's not just going to pop off. Thought about going in here and taking some thin material and maybe reinforcing this back corner right here, just to be sure that there's no spring action, or this don't break off on him after I get it painted. That would suck. But anyway, let's move on. Yeah, I know that's backwards. So I'm going to remove these exhausts. This is my cutting board here. This is my cutting board. My soldering board's just an old piece of wood that I had. I've actually got 2 or 3 pieces of this, but this comes in handy. I've got a bigger cutting board, but I have so much junk on this desk. No point. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this off. Some of you may cringe while you watch this. Razor apparently is dull. Not really a whole lot you can do to save these, so it just is what it is. Turn it around here where I can see it. Okay, like I said, I kind of think my way through as I go. Let's see if I can get this out of here without budging the camera. Little sanding stick I made. I just took a stick, flat piece of balsa wood. Well, I don't know if it's balsa wood or not. A little flat piece of wood, and I glued some 80 grit paper on both sides. Makes a pretty good little file. Leaving the stick flat on the exhaust. You don't want to scuff up the shell. You just want to take the stack off is what you want to do. You go to scuffing the shell up, you won't never get it right for painting, and it'll show marks after you get done. Got a little file here. This is a little pocket file that I bought at Hobby Lobby. This has been godsend several times. You notice it's got many different little files. That's something important if you're going to do this. I think I might have mentioned this before. I'm not going to sit and beat it in your head, but always have the tools to do the job. It makes everything so much easier. And if you don't have the tools, just be ready to make them. Make sure you keep up with all of your tools. I'm very forgetful, so I make sure to put everything back right away, or else I'll be looking for it in the floor. The dog will have it over in the dog's hiding place, that kind of thing. Now what I was thinking about doing, and probably what I am going to do, is leave that plate on there, because the plates are the same size. So I'm debating on, well, I know I'm going to cut this plate off. When you're cutting these sprues, you want to make sure that your knife placement is correct and that it's on the actual sprue. If you cut sideways, especially with a good sharp razor, you'll have crooked plates underneath your exhaust. or whatever else you're doing. So as I mentioned, I'm probably going to remove, maybe it'll show up here, I'm probably going to remove this plate off the bottom of these and glue them on the old plates. Boom, boom. And then just set these in the center. And I noticed on the photographs, and I don't know how you guys do it. Some of you guys have actually seen a Jeep 10 up close and in person, but I really doubt you memorized every small detail. So I Google a lot of pictures to find what the prototypes look like. And I noticed on the prototype pictures, the center exhaust, you've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just put them there. Let's see if I can zoom in here. The center exhaust are actually closer than the 2 outside. The 2 centers are closer than the 2 outside. Now that's just what I've seen on prototype pics. If anybody knows better, I know I've got some rivet counter buddies out there. Contrary to popular belief, I don't hate rivet counters. So if you have some information as far as the width, if they're equally, distance apart, whatever, drop me a comment below. Let me know. I'm not going to attach these for a couple of days, and that's the reason I'm doing this video. If anybody's got any type of information, I'm on Facebook. You can go to my personal page, which is Mark Turner. You can go to my Turner&Lewis page and put something in the comments there. If you have some sort of blueprint of the outside, anything that might help, I'd be also grateful for that. I was thinking that maybe here, and I'm going to shut up after this. I just wanted to make this video because, let me just start there. I wanted to make this video because I've had a couple people ask how it was going here, and as I said, I'm very, very busy between my actual job and these jobs. I've got a lot on my plate. It being springtime, I'm fixing to have outdoor activities. I've got a tractor coming. I'm going to be cleaning off my property, yada, yada, yada. Just endless groans of being an adult. But anyway, as I mentioned, I would appreciate any input. And this video here is, just to kind of catch you guys up on where I am. I'm not going to put this video, I don't sit in front of a video and just whittle on something. I just don't do it. I don't think my camera's got that kind of memory. Okay, I'm gonna add this in the video. I went back and I removed the plates. You can see get a pointer here. You can see the outline of the plates. Now, I use this 80 grit, and when you're using 80 grit paper, I think I've already said this, but when you're using 80 grit paper, you want to be very, very careful, because this is a dog. This is a bulldog. This is a Chihuahua. Now, it still bites, but it doesn't bite as deep as that bulldog does. A little comparison there. These are now flush. There's no hump. And what I did is I took the bulldog and sawed down the heavy part of the plate. Then I took the Chihuahua, and if you notice, there's 2 different colors. This is the finer side, so this will actually bring a polish to it, where this is still pretty hefty. It's not as hefty as that 80 grit, but it's pretty hefty. So what you want to do is you just basically, you know, want to work this. Let me see here if I can. No, I can't. You just want to work this and then turn it over and use the lighter side to polish it on out, and that'll keep you from having some bad scratches in it once you primer it. Most of the time, and I have seen it, where primer will actually, in which I primer all locomotives, it's important that you don't want to just shoot it with this. The paint will flake right off. Some paint will adhere to plastic, or I was fixing to show that car, but caught myself. Some paint will adhere to plastic or brass or whatever it is, even if it's a cast body. Yeah, it will. And if you paint it 100%, you stand a good chance of wrapping, and it basically seals the whole car with the connection where the paint, everything's painted, and it's wrapping around from the top to the bottom and on the inside. You don't want to have to go through all that. Just use a primer. Use a plastic primer. Now you can use a multi-purpose primer, but I choose to use and I'm not going to tell you what I use because it's my secret, but I use a plastic primer, and it's not a model primer. It's actually made for automotive. But I use that primer on these units, and your primer, if you don't know, is to make sure that the paint will stick to the product. When you're painting brass, if you can find something that is a metal primer, you can get an all-purpose primer at AutoZone, and it'll do the same job. I've used it on some of my stuff. I've shot several locomotives that I've got, and the paint is still on it. There's no chips, no flakes. That's why you primer it. You don't want chips and flakes. And of course, after you prime it, you want to put on a sealant. If you don't put a sealant on top of that paint and those decals, you're going to pick it up one day, and when you pick it up, the decal will be stuck to your finger. It happens. I'm telling you, it happens. So anyway, just wanted to kind of drop in and show you this part, and I'm going to add this into the video. So I'm going to shut up now and put this in the video. See you in a minute. Hello, I wanted to introduce myself. I am Mark Turner, CEO and founder of the Turner&Lewis Railroad. In 2012, I made the decision to start up my own freelance coal hauling railroad. After the first locomotive, dressed in T&L black and yellow, rolled out of the paint shops, other freelance owners took notice and contracted our shops to paint their equipment. Our business is a growing business with the best customer service and safety record, as we strive for excellence. We install LED and DCC in all types of locomotives. We will paint any locomotive, no matter from steamers to GE to Alco to EMD. We'll even take a crack at the foreign jobs. We can make them look new, used, weathered, light or heavy, rusted. We can even beat the you-know-what out of them. So if you've got that special project in mind, just look us up on Facebook at Turner&Lewis Railroad, where we paint them like you like them. I don't think my camera's got that kind of memory, so I'm just not going to sit in front of the video camera. There ain't nothing there. I'm trying to figure out why sitting up like that. Feels like there's something holding it up. There is something holding it up. It's the rivets across there. I'll have to leave them anyway. I don't want to destroy them. I was looking at this and I'm wondering if I've even got this backwards, if this goes toward the front. I can't find any top pictures of what it looks like. It looks odd being pointed to the front. This little knot right here that you see sticking out on the vents. Like I said, anybody got any I don't really want suggestions. I need facts. So anybody can drop me a fact on what I need to do as far as which direction this goes, and as far as the distance for the exhaust, let me know. I would definitely appreciate it. So like I said, this is just me dropping in, letting you know where we are. If you would like to see the Milwaukee road car when I get it completed, let me know. I'll do a little photo shoot and show you that. I'm actually kind of proud of that. It was just a brass unit when it got here. There was no paint on it, nothing. There was no interior, no glass, nothing. And I've actually installed the glass. I cut a little jewel out to go in the rear indicator light, that, the little red light that was not a little red light, it's a big red light that goes over the top of the visors on the rear. I actually cut that out to fit. It fits, looks good. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments. Anything, just drop me a line. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, and when I come back, hopefully I'll have the exhaust put on, and there's going to be a couple things I'm not going to do. I guess I need to put this in there too. Me and the owner of this, me and Eddie was talking, and we were thinking about welding a plate over these headlights and actually putting a nose light in both of them, or maybe one of them having the overhead lights and one of them having the lower lights, making them just a little different, something to give each one of them their own little bit of flavor. What do you think? You think we ought to do it that way? Like I said, any kind of comment, whatever you want to put in there, drop it in there. Let me know. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. God bless, and well, y'all come back now. Yeah.